everyone goes through their path of enlightenment. And going through your path of enlightenment, man, you first hit the phase of being intrigued because you're learning so much information. And you know what I'm saying? You learn things about religion and stuff. You learn stuff about history. You learn stuff about metaphysics and stuff. And then you get to a point to where you be like, you get angry. Because you be like, man, I just studied this stuff here. I'm just now learning this information. How come my parents and them didn't know this? How come my uncles and cousins and older cousins and them didn't know this? So then you get angry. So then as you embrace that anger, you become a doggone information junkie. Now, let me time out real quick. Whatever you do, believe me, I've been in this for 30-something years. Whatever you do, do not fall out with your friends and family over this information because it's just information meant for you. If it was meant for them, they would know. Do not fall out with them. Love them. Continue and just continue to love them and drop a seed whenever you can. I digress. But yeah, you go through that phase when you're mad. So then you start collecting and learning all the information, man, and then you're in that phase where you've been practicing your information. So now you're ready to find somebody so you can go through the phase of debating. You sat back and you studied and you've imagined every scenario and everything, every rebuttal that you're gonna have for something that somebody has to say. And you know, you go through your little battles, you know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to go through this phase. You go through that little phase and stuff, man. And then as time goes by, you start to mature in your spirituality. You start to realize that, hey, man, you know what? This information is not meant for everybody. If it was, everyone would know. Then you start to realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe I didn't choose the information. Maybe the information chose me. Right? So now as you become through, because I'm telling you, when you're going through your anger phase, you're going to stick your middle finger up toward the Bible. You're going to stick your middle finger up toward the thing called Jesus. You're going to turn your back on all religion. You're going to look at everybody who's involved with religion as an idiot. But then when you hit this certain level of spiritual maturity, you start to realize that, oh, you know what? It's about me connecting with the God force within and becoming one with that. So then you start to respect other people's opinions and respect their way of existence because now you're focusing on yourself. Now, let me tell you a trick about that. When you focus on yourself and you become the God, you no longer have to speak to anyone and give them the information. Your presence alone speaks for itself. Let's continue. But now, once you get to the spiritual maturity level, then you start to realize that, man, you know what? The story in the Bible about Jesus was really a story about me becoming the divine Christ by becoming one with the divine intelligence that dwells within. So then you start kicking yourself in the ass like, oh man, I done talked about all this stuff here. I done talked all crazy about Christians. I done talked all crazy about Muslims and stuff. And then you start to be like, oh man, what the heck was I doing? But then you have to keep going on because your job is to become the one. Because when you become the one, you begin to reflect the oneness. And when you reflect the oneness, others become magnetically drawn onto you. You must become the divine Christ. Now, anyone who becomes this thing, what they call a Christian, listen to the word Christian or Christianity. When you get involved with Christianity, that's a different thing because it used to be a time we were Gnostics. We dealt with spiritual science. We dealt with Christ, the divine Christ science. Right. That's who we were. We were Gnostics. We were agnostic. But then as time went by, somebody came up with this thing called Christianity. They took the Christ science, the divine Christ that dwelt within, and they separated it from man. And they became known as Christianity. It became known as Christianity. Now just think about it, entity. If you were Muslim entity, wouldn't that make you anti-Muslim? If you were Hebrew entity, would that not make you anti-Hebrew? So doggone right. If you call yourself being involved in Christianity, what you're actually involved in is anti-Christ. You're involved with being against man, becoming one with the divine Christ energy within. Because once man becomes one with the divine Christ energy within, he sees that in himself. He knows that it is in himself because he is of the undivided. You are one with God. And when you start to manifest that, others are going to fall right in line. But let me tell you again, don't fall out with your family over this information. Love them. Love them for at the level that they are. When you can, drop a seed when you can. Quit throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Because the doggone so-called Bible, it has stories in it that will give you a vision of certain outcomes of immoral things that people have done and some outcomes of some of the moral things that people have done. The gods that they are talking about in that Bible, so what? Many of those gods are people. But you're not supposed to be focused on them. You're only supposed to be focused on the God within. Peace and blessings. I'm out.